Hey, what's up, everyone? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me on this cold and gloomy November afternoon. And today we're going to be reviewing this beauty right here. This is the Mokwheel Obsidian ST 2.0. And once again, this is the ST version, which stands for step through. So if you're slightly shorter, such as myself, I am 5'10", the ST version is just going to be a slightly smaller frame, easier to mount and ride. Now, I had been in the market for an e-bike for a couple of months already, and we do get several offers for Junkyard Fox, but I didn't want to just choose any single one. So I did my research, I did my homework, and I looked at the companies and the models and what the models offered, and I went with Mokwheel, and they were gracious enough to not only send me the bike, but a deluxe accessory pack as well, and this has been a game changer. Now, what I wanted was a second source of locomotion. So I drive my truck to camp somewhere, and then from there, I can leave camp in the bike and go hunting, go fishing, or just cruise around, enjoy the scenery. Like today, I'm just off-roading, enjoying myself. And so let's talk about my findings after 4 months of riding this bike, my first ever e-bike, the pros, possible cons, and all that good stuff. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. Let's get started. So, brief summary of the Mokwheel Obsidian ST 2.0 is that it is an e-bike or an electronically charged bike. So meaning you charge this at home in your garage or with the power station for a couple of hours and you are good to go. A lot of people are not aware that you can use an e-bike just like a regular mountain bike, but it's not as fun as when you combine your strength with the thrust and torque. When you power this on, it does have 5 PAS modes, 5 being the strongest. The manual says it goes as fast as 28 miles per hour. I've gotten this thing to go as fast as 30 miles per hour on smooth roads. So you can definitely get some speed. Now, the max payload capacity is 560 pounds, so you can definitely put some weight on this, put a backpack, stuff like that. I've done that before. And the range is 60 to 80 miles, depending on the weight and terrain. And it's got a full suspension system, 4-inch fat tires, and weighs 77 pounds. Now, mine does have some additions from Mokwheel, from a deluxe pack that I'll talk about later on. But yeah, I got this so it can add to scouting missions, fishing, hunting, all that good stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, not only did Mokwheel send the bike itself, but they also sent a deluxe accessory pack with multiple things there that just help the bike just kind of raise it up a bit. Now, I will say I'm not using all of them. I don't really feel like I need every single one, but I did add a couple of things on here to make the bike just a little bit more customizable to my liking, so let's talk about that. First things first is the seat. They offer an upgrade seat, and it is night and day difference. Now, as much as I enjoyed the Mokwheel when I was first riding it, I gotta say that seat was uncomfortable. Not just me, but my brother, my buddies, everyone who rode this thing, everyone immediately was complaining about the seat. So my advice to Mokwheel is just toss that stock seat to the trash and just start using this for the base model. Your customers will be a lot happier. It is a noticeable difference. Next is, of course, I did add a water bottle holder. Now, I don't have a water bottle for this example right now because I'll be honest, I'm something of a tree hugger. I don't like, wasting plastic and stuff like that. So I usually just refill my metal canteens and those don't fit on here. But you have seen me in the past placing one in there as like a backup water source, especially because I'm out in the desert and we're extremely low on water. But I just didn't have one for today's exercise. And then moving on up here, I did add this, and this is, of course, so you can place your phone. Of course, I make YouTube videos, and so you want to catch that first-person view riding, and of course, you can switch it so it's getting your face and your expressions and stuff like that. So I do like this. It's very, very sturdy, and you can, of course, hold it sideways. You can alter it any way which way you want to. So, like, if you want to up and down, like TikTok or whatever, you got that. I really like that. And then lastly, I needed a basket because, as you can tell, I have my haversack. If I go off hunting and I take down 2 rabbits, boom, I have my rabbits here, or like a bag with doves in it, whatever the case may be. But I think something to hold at least a small amount of cargo space, I think that's just a necessity, at least for me. And then lastly, this is not part of Mokwheel whatsoever. This is just one of my side pouches from the Hidden Woodsman that's meant to go on your day pack. And I just added this on here. I just figured it makes sense if I'm off riding and I'm away from camp that I should always have some kind of first aid kit. That way, in case I was to take a spill and I scrape myself or something like that, I just have a basic boo-boo kit here to help patch me up until I get back to base camp. But once again, this is just a personal modification I added myself. They also offer other things such as a lock. And I'll show it in a bit through B-roll here. But as much as you do have the protection of removing this control panel here so no one can use it electronically, they can still ride it like a bike, like a mountain bike. And, you know, crackheads, they're a relentless lot. So you want to, you know, cover your bases. And so you have this metal rod type of lock here, and I really like it as well, just to, you know, just to play it safe. So I do like that as well. Okay, so let's get to riding. Now, a lot of people think mistakenly that an e-bike is only an electronic dirt bike, basically. And that's not true. You can still get exercise. You can still ride this like a regular bike. This is just how you're going to access all the power settings and all that stuff, all the different options. And so you can remove this as a fail-safe, as a safety feature. You just squeeze down here, take this off, and you can just put this in your coat pocket, inside your house, your garage, stuff like that, so it can't be accessed. Now, once again, someone can still take this. So it's good that they did give me a lock. That way I just play it safe. But yeah, I like the fact that you can remove the control settings, the control panel. Okay, so now for the fun part. Let's ride this thing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can ride this as a regular bike. You don't necessarily have to power this on. You got your gears there like a regular mountain bike, 1 through 10. You can raise them and lower them through this button and through this button back here. But of course, I want to show you guys this powered on because we can go really fast. Now let's go ahead and power this on. So click the power button for about 5 seconds and you'll see this light up. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad right now. And here we have the bike's power charge indicator. It's fully charged. This is our PAS mode. So of course it's on 0. We're not moving right now. But once again, you can go from 1 through 5, 5 being the strongest. And then of course it's going to show your speed. And the way you cycle through the PAS modes is through this button right here on your thumb. And once again, being 5 is the one that's going to have the most torque. It's going to go extremely fast. Sometimes that's really fun, like when you're going on a smooth road like we're about to. But then once we get on, you know, some bumpier dirt roads, I like to slow down a little bit just because it gives me more opportunity to, you know, twist and turn if I have to. But there we go. So let's jump on. Okay, so I took off my hat because it's going to fly off once I hit a certain speed, like 23 miles an hour, they all fly off. And so I'm not going to bother with that because I don't want to stop. We're going to ride around the asphalt for now, and then we're going to jump off into some dirt roading stuff. So let's start off with level 1. And automatically that thruster has a good pull to it. We barely started and we're already at 16 miles an hour. I'm not even pedaling yet. All right, so let's start pedaling. The best thing to do is to pedal and thrust if you want speed. And so let's see how fast we can get. We're at 28 miles an hour and I'm still on level 1 in the PAS. That's impressive. All right, let's go ahead and test these brakes. We gotta wait for this guy to pass by. All right, now that we're turning, let's go ahead and raise this up to level 5, which has the most torque, the most strength. And let's paddle. Let's see how fast we can get this thing to go. $28, $29. Oh yeah. And yeah, this is just fun riding around the neighborhood. All right. Once again, let's test out the brakes. Really good. All right, let's do some off-roading. Now, for off-roading, like I mentioned, I like to lower the PAS down to like 3 because that gives me, we're moving at a slower pace. So if I have to do a quick turn, the PAS 5, it's not so aggressive. It allows me to some mobility. All right, so here we go. Let's jump on here, slow down. There we go. All right, let's go. And with all these bumps, test out the suspension system, which is really good. Whoa. All right. Now we just got to be careful because there is some loose gravel here, some loose sand, and you can lose your traction if it's too sandy, so just got to be careful. Yeah, having this upgraded seat makes a huge difference with the suspension when it comes to comfort. I always did want to join the Hells Angels. All right, so there was a ton of stickers in this desert area, and you can't see them because of the mud, but poor bike got a ton of them. Just a ton of them. It's going to take me a while to get these completely off. Can't really see them right now. There you go. But just this desert is just full of these guys, and all things considered, that was one of the things I was scared of with an e-bike is, you know, the desert is very unforgiving. There's just so many spines from cactus and yucca and tumbleweeds and ocotillo and all kinds of stuff that I wasn't comfortable riding a bike out there, and then I have to deal with the flat tire or two flat tires for what it's worth. And I got to say, I've taken this out multiple times out into the desert, and I'm very impressed on these tires. These are some really rugged tires. Better than the tires on my truck, I'll tell you that much. But, yeah, just really tough stuff. So final thoughts on the Mokwheel Obsidian ST 2.0 e-bike. So first things first is I got to go with the pros, and I got to say that I very much enjoy this bike. I think it's far more sturdier than I was originally thinking it would be. Anytime I hear an E anything, it makes me hesitant to take it outdoors because, you know, I'm scared that they're going to be finicky and I can't truly put my trust in them. But I'm happy to say that these tires that I was worried that they're going to get punctured with all the spines and spikes out here, they've been tough. They've been great, very reliable. Of course, it's electronics, so you're able to charge it in your garage and then take it out whenever you want to. So it's not like you're having to put gasoline or anything like that. So I like that as well. Now, when it comes to the nitpicks, I really only have a couple of them. The first one is not the fault of the bike or the company itself. It's an oversight on my part. And that's that you got to be sure to have the proper mounting equipment on how to transport this, because it's not like putting a skateboard in the backseat of your car. This thing is 77 pounds, and just to load it onto the flatbed of a truck, it's heavy if you're doing it by yourself, and then to strap it down, you know, it's, once again, it is a hefty piece of equipment, and so because of that, you haven't seen it as much on the channel just because it is a little bit of a pain. And my usual truck, which is my Ford Explorer, you know, I don't have a mounting system for it. Now, Mokwheel does sell a mounting system for it separately, so keep that in mind as well, but I should have taken this into consideration beforehand. As far as the bike itself, I only have two real nitpicks. So as I mentioned earlier, the stock seat that it came with was just god-awful. It really was. And so I just wish that Mokwheel just replaces the seat, because these are not cheap bikes. And so comfort goes a long way when you're off-riding, especially if you're going to be off-roading and, you know, bumps and stuff like that, bumpy terrain. I mean, come on. Please just replace this with this upgraded version, and customers are going to be a lot happier. And next is this water bottle holder. Now, once again, these are accessory, deluxe accessory parts, so it doesn't come with it to begin with. But I do hope that Mokwheel ends up offering a larger sized water bottle holder. Majority of people that are out mountain biking or hiking, camping, they need a larger water bottle, like their clean canteens, their Keith titanium canteens, and so this doesn't fit them. So I wish they offered a larger version, like for a 40 ounce or something like that. And in my opinion, I think that would just make a lot more sense. Once again, especially out here in the desert. And lastly, the elephant in the room is the price. Now, e-bikes in general are not cheap, particularly one that's of quality. Of course, this isn't something you're going to drop $100 on. These can go upwards of $2,000, sometimes even higher than that. So once again, they're not a budget-friendly item. I'm well aware of that. Now, luckily, Mokwheel constantly has sales where you can, they do offer discounts, especially right now that it's the holiday season. I'll also have a link down below with my affiliate code, and you can get $50 off as well, because I very much am happy with this bike. A couple of nitpicks that they got to work on, particularly the seat, and then optional things such as offering a larger water container. Now, I wouldn't say no to a larger front basket as well, just extra gear for me to carry when I'm traveling. But honestly, I'm really happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and consider this a short-term review, 4-month review, and then I'm hoping to make a long-term, year-long review after that. So comment down below what you would like to see me using this bike for, hunting trip, fishing trip, that kind of stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Big thank you to Mokwheel for sending this to me. I'll have the links down below, and I'll see you guys next week with another video. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.